Wild Talents by Charles Hoyfort, Chapter 21a. I looked at a picture, and it fell from a wall. The diabolical thought of usefulness rises in my mind. If ever I can make up my mind to declare myself the enemy of all mankind, then shall I turn altruist, and devote my life to being of use, and of benefit to my fellow beings. Everything that is of slavery, ancient and modern, is a phenomenon of usefulness. The prisons are filled with unconventional interpreters of uses. If it were not for uses, we'd be free of lawyers. Give up the idea of improvements, and that is an escape from politicians. Do unto others as you would that others should do unto you, and you may make the litter of their circumstances that you have made of your own. The Good Samaritan binds up wounds with poison ivy. If I give anybody a coin, I hand him good and evil, just as truly as I hand him head and tail. Whoever discovered the uses of coal was a benefactor of all mankind, and most damnably something else. Automobiles, and their seeming indispensable services, but automobiles and crime and a million exasperations. There are persons who think they see clear advantages in the use of a telephone, then the telephone rings. If, by looking at it, a picture can be taken down from a wall, why could not a house be pulled down, by still more intently staring at it? If, occultly, mentally, physically, however, a house could be pulled down, why could not a house be put up, by concentrating upon its materials? Now visions of the area of witchcraft, miracles of invisible bricklaying, and marvels of masonry without masons, subtle uses and advantages that will merge both AD and BC into one period of barbarism, known as BW. But the factories and laborers, everything else that is now employed in our primitive ways of building houses, unemployment and starvation and charity, political disturbances, the outcry against putting the machines out of work. There is no understanding any messiah, inventor, discoverer, or anybody else who is working for betterment, except by recognizing him as partly a fiend. And yet, in one respect, I am suspicious of all this wisdom. The only reason that it is not conventional mechanistic philosophy is that a conventionalist is more subdued. But, if in every action there is a reaction that is equal and opposite, there is to every advantage, or betterment, an equal disadvantage, or worsement. This view, except as quantitatively expressed, seems to me to be in full agreement with my experiences with advantages and uses and betterments. But, as quantitatively expressed, it is without authority to me, because I cannot accept that ever has any action-reaction been cut into its parts separate and isolated, so that it could be determined what either part was equal to. I looked at a picture, and it fell from a wall.